Hello, welcome to the Always Be Comedy podcast. It is Always Be Comedy Rebooked. God, I nearly did like a 90s and then get fresh. I'll do that to the kids, and they, oh man, they don't even, no, they don't even laugh at me. They just,
Do I understand the reference?
they're just ashamed. Oh, they get what I'm doing.
Lovely,
When
great.
a Homer like does that rap,
Yeah.
and they're going, "Dad, please don't ever do that again." My kid's reaction is that worse than that. Right then, our guest is Rachel. Rachel Parris. Tim, obviously, quite literally, it's quite obnoxious when. I remember there was a show. Anyway, when a comedian introduces another comedian and they say things like, "It's a really good friend of mine," and you're like, I can't give a fuck. You know what I mean? But anyway,
Yeah, it's interesting. I've seen MCs do that, but ask me how you say the comedian's name before before they bring them on. It's crazy.
when I first started emceeing, I would definitely have done it.
A good friend of mine.
Definitely,
Okay.
but maybe once and once only.
Okay. Yeah.
Your next act is a really good friend of mine. Oh, thank God you said that because I wasn't going to laugh. But now you've said
Yeah.
your friends. Oh well, I mean, I'm
Absolutely.
I mean, I've told you, guys. This one's happened to me. This is a bit of. This is part of a bigger bit, but I'll share it with you. We're all friends. I was doing a gig in North London many years ago, and I'd never met the compere in my life. And the compere went on and said, "Your next act is a really good friend of mine." So I'm stood behind this curtain thinking, eh? And the compere went, "Please welcome. I love hanging out with him. Now you're gonna love him. Please welcome my great friend, Andy Gill."
Man. I mean, that's about setting you up to fail.
Fucking hell. Oh man, and you spend like the first 3 minutes of your set going, yeah. Anyway, I don't know who that person is, but anyway, I'm sort of wedded to saying this now. Rachel Parris is obviously a friend of Tim's and myself because we've known her for many years through the comedy circuit, but then also we became even better friends via lockdown and the Tuesday nightclub shows and so on and so forth. I tell you, we were already good pals. But then, next level, Rachel has a book out introducing Mrs. Collins, a Pride and Prejudice novel, and we really get into it. We really get into Jane Austen. Tim, I did naively assume that all the ostentatious guys were Jane Austen anoraks, and to find out that that isn't necessarily the case was mind blowing.
Yes, I don't think it's too unreasonable for you to have thought, oh, they must be big fans. It turns out some of them are big fans, some of them are less aware, less fans of Jane Austen. But I mean,
Now,
maybe
sorry, go
that
on.
brings a good dynamic, sort of allows for a more does it? Someone could be a bit sneery towards it, maybe, and maybe that's quite a fun dynamic in a show.
I think you're absolutely right. It's not. Is it the same? Maybe it's not the same. The cricketer Graham Swan wasn't asked about cricket,
Yeah,
and he thinks that is one of the reasons why he was as brilliant as he was because he'd sort of like whatever. And
interesting. Okay.
maybe if some of them are like deeply invested in all things Austen, and Rachel is very much so, especially now. And if there's a couple in the group who aren't that asked, I think it probably does add to it does help the dynamic.
Yeah, I think so.
If someone
I,
comes in a bit loosey goosey maybe compared to the others, it's not a
yeah,
bad
and
thing.
I guess if you consider what a roaring success Ostentatious is, it's still on the West End now. It's such a big thing, so whatever they're doing is working.
Whatever they're doing is working. So if you've never seen Ostentatious, and we're sure you have, but be sure to check it out. It is essentially a magic trick. It's ridiculous how good that group are. All successful in their own right, and then magic happens as a group. Tim, I think we can tease that any Rachel Parris fans must also watch this space on the comedy front. I think we sort of allude to it in the chat, don't we?
I think so. Yes, I think so. She has been doing some new material gigs with us recently, and there is a reason for that.
Make of that what you will.
Yes.
Rachel listening to this going, God, fucking hell, guys. Also, Rachel Parris, there are 4 chances to see Rachel at Always Be Comedy in the coming weeks. Friday the 6th of February, that has already sold out. Friday the 6th of March, quite literally, last few tickets. Rachel Parris, Sam Campbell, Shalaka Kurup. Friday the 27th of March, Rachel Parris, Ellis James, we'll add one more act. Thursday the 16th of April, Abanderman, Rachel Parris, Michael Odewale. That show is 3 months away and is already almost sold out. So
yeah.
Get your skates on. We are sure that. Well, no. Let me say that again. We will be adding more with Rachel because there'll be a work in progress added.
There'll be a. No, I'm not gonna say my joke actually.
There'll be work in progress added. Maybe by the time this episode comes. In fact, you know what? Let's go for it. Hopefully, by the time this episode comes out. Tim, it's a rebooked episode. We love these new questions.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think. Please be positive. Tim, is there any other business?
I think no other business. I think it's we can get Parris on.
Here she is, one of our favourites on and off stage, the great, the people's champion, Rachel. Oh, also cheeky little cameo at the end. We'll say no more. The great Rachel Parris. Right, it's Always Be Comedy rebooked. It's a brave new world. Our guest today is the great Rachel Parris. Rachel, how is everything with you?
It's very good, thank you. Honour to be rebooked.
You're technically 3rd time on the pod. I think that is literally first time because it was you and Marcus first, then it was you, and now now it's you again.
Nice.
It is really
nice. I've got to think of new things to say.
It's our first ever three-peat. We're very grateful.
Three-peat, lovely, yeah. Well, I'm thrilled, and I'll say different things. Talk about different comedians.
You've got different things going on.
Got different things going on. That's not true.
Introducing Mrs. Collins is now out.
Yes.
So let's get into your book.
Well, right, because you and Jane Austen are synonymous with ostentatious and what have you. Where did that all come about? Was it one of those? Even as a child, were you into Austen?
No, no. I studied Pride and Prejudice for GCSE when a lot of people did, and I thought it was good, but I didn't love it. And do you know what? I only became a Jane Austen really big fan quite a while after starting Ostentatious. So we didn't start Ostentatious because we all absolutely adored Jane Austen. We started it because we thought it was a good idea, and Jane Austen suited improv very well, and we knew it was popular. We liked Jane Austen, but we didn't love it.
I'm such a buffoon. I genuinely thought like there'd be some sort of serendipitous moment of all the improvers in the room at the same time. Did someone just say Jane Austen? No, I also love Jane. I think Graham Dixon from nowhere. I think I heard Jane Austen.
Graham Dixon don't love Jane Austen. Of all of us.
No.
I know.
Me set myself on fire.
No, we all knew it enough, and the girls knew it better and liked it more. And liked the idea of being in a Jane Austen more than we liked Jane Austen books. But through doing Ostentatious and studying the books and the adaptations over years and everything, the period, the manner, the military history, we really nerded out about it in the beginning in those first few years. That's how I came to love Jane Austen, is rereading the books, reading all of the novels, reading her letters, reading her early work, getting to know her biography, and inhabiting the world on stage for so many years. So in many ways, for someone who has had Jane Austen as part of their career for so long. It's actually been a fairly slow burn. But now I really do love Jane Austen. So writing a spin-off of Pride and Prejudice felt like a pretty natural step.
I'd like to apologise for asking the sort of question that Melvin Bragg would ask on the South Bank show, but why, a show that I love.
I'm really looking forward to it now.
What is it about Austen that sustains?
It is. There's. I hesitate only because there's a lot of answers, and I want to give an interesting one. One of the reasons is the stories she's writing remain true today. And people think of Jane Austen and they think of fans and balls and blushing and swooning, and it's not that. For one thing, swooning, blushing women weren't tolerated by her. She absolutely ripped the piss out of women who were like that. She wasn't a fan. She was a very stoical person, very strong, and in my opinion, quite feminist as well. So she's writing stories which are woman-centered, about women trying to make the best choices for themselves. There are romances in those stories, but there's also just women trying to make the best economic. Marriage was absolutely an economic question. You had so much to consider, financially, logistically. You were considering your family, you were considering your sisters, you were considering how far away from your family you would live. Women absolutely, like in those days, had to know the economics of exactly. People now are like, it's so funny that they were like, oh, Darcy had 10,000 a year and Bingley had 5,000 a year, and everyone knowing the exact wage. But you had to be very canny and very smart about your marriage, because that was your way of controlling your life. So anyway, the point is, I think she was writing interesting women, and she wrote a huge variety of women at different stages of their lives, all of them under difficult circumstances, trying to make their life work. So that idea, not just the romance of Jane Austen, but the stories of women trying to make their life work for them, it's popular because it's still what women are trying to do, just in different ways.
Have you ever had it after a show where, have you ever met like an Austen nerd and your internal monologue has been, oh God, this person knows more about Austen than I do?
Yeah, all the time, and recently. I've been doing so many panels because of the book with like people who are either older than me and therefore got like 20 years on me in terms of Jane Austen research, or started younger, and therefore have this wealth of knowledge that I can't match up to. But I'm getting there, because I like to know about my subject, so I've been doing all the reading around it and writing this book. My God, I realized I had to know about the Peninsular War, so I'm now quite an expert on the Peninsular War and the Napoleonic Wars. And I needed to know about like stuff that Jane Austen didn't actually write about. So about what did illness look like, what illnesses were and weren't known about, how were they treated. I had to learn about like inheritance law in Regency times.
Wow.
So there were subjects I had to research for the book, and then afterwards I've just enjoyed reading like about Jane Austen's life, reading all the biographies and that sort of stuff. So I mean, I'm enjoying becoming one of those nerds, but I'm enjoying learning from people that I'm meeting, including like the audience members really know about it, so I'm learning, which I like.
Were you at a Jane Austen festival this weekend or something? Did I misread that? Yeah.
Were you stalking me?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, for research. It's called research.
Or just a good guess. To be fair.
Probably.
I was at Pride and Prejudice Fest at Jane Austen's house in Chawton. It was lovely.
Gosh.
So what's the vibe at one of those?
A lot of women.
A lot of women.
I would say a lot of women, but not all. But the vibe was very calm and very lovely. It's people who are just in a place that they sort of worship a bit. So there was a sort of quiet awe amongst it to a certain extent. And I was just giving a talk about the book, but also obviously about Pride and Prejudice mainly. And they really knew their stuff. That's a hard crowd. People who bought tickets to Pride and Prejudice Festival in January and made the journey to a village that has no train station. They love Jane and they love Pride and Prejudice. So they really knew every single word of it. So I was very much on on my P's and Q's to try and get everything right. But I really enjoyed it.
Is it Mark Bellingham, as the comedian turned author, now lives in
Mark
America?
Billingham, yeah.
Mark
yeah.
Billingham. So I'd heard a story about Mark Billingham from another comedian, that in the world of publishing, they love Billingham because when they have events, it's like, oh, this guy knows how to talk, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of time, if an author's super nerdy and they're at some panel and they're quite introverted, and so you must be manna from heaven for people in the publishing world.
It has been a bit like that. Yeah, the publishing team, when it came to the book, like I would be like, at first, a little bit, even knowing who I am, they'd be like treating me the way a lot of authors are, which is they don't want to do loads of press and they get, a bit nervous in interviews. It's not their favorite thing to be talking on a stage. And I'm like, that's what I can offer. That's what I can offer. I'm a first-time novelist, but I'm not a first-time talking about it. I can push. So I was like, literally, there is no limit. I've given over these months to pushing the book. Like, just stick me on a stage. I don't need any prep, I can talk. So yeah, that is a huge advantage, that I can just go and feel very confident just holding a stage on my own and just talking about the book and sort of leading talks about it as well, because people have stuff to say. But yeah, that was funny. They'd be like, well, if you can bear to do this, and maybe we can make excuses on this one. I'm like, don't make excuses. I'll do all of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They're catching you. They're catching you mid-vocal exercise.
Yeah. Warming up my Austin jokes in advance.
I mean, that's absolutely. I mean, that's amazing. And what a great gift. Now, at the risk of sounding like your agents, are we talking? Is there adaptation chat in the works? There's Rachel. There's a 9-figure offer from HBO.
There's no secret. I would love it, but my God, it would be expensive, because it wouldn't just be a Jane Austen adaptation, which is expensive already. It would be a mixture of Jane Austen and Sharp, because there's a lot of war in it. There's the Peninsular War happens, and the main love interest is a colonel in the army during the war.
So the war might have to happen off camera. That battle was a big one.
Hey, you're back.
Yes, I am. What happened? We'll talk about it another time.
I see there's mud on your boots. I know where you've been, and we need not see it.
It's still very early. Book's not been out long. But we hold out hope.
Someone else... I'm writing to my next avenue of trying to get it made, because it would have to be so much money. It would have to be like an HBO that made it if it got made. I'm writing to the actors I would want to play them. So I'm writing to Erin Doherty, who would be my perfect Charlotte Lucas.
Amazing.
And Will Poulter, who would be my perfect Colonel Fitzwilliam.
I've interviewed Will Poulter twice.
Have you? Is he lovely?
He's really lovely.
Do you remember when he was a child comedian?
I tell you what, he was
funny, man.
He's so
funny.
What was it called? School of Comedy.
Yeah. I mean, he's so good.
He was great, wasn't he?
Yeah. When we say child, how young?
10.
Yeah, oh my God, 10. Where was he performing? Channel
4.
Wow. And
it wasn't comedy for kids. It was really sweary. Do you remember there was the line I remember him going is, "Shut the fuck up, Harry," or something like that. It was proper sketches, but performed by children, which is quite weird.
And he had insane. I mean, he obviously he's got it because he's a big movie star, but as a child had this insane charisma.
Yeah. Yes.
It was like, who the hell is this guy?
And I know. And now when you see him in Hollywood things, and he's all buff and playing like a superhero, you feel like going, but he's funny, guys. He's also really funny. Get him to do comedy.
Have you met Poulter then?
No. He would just be such a perfect fit, because both of the heroes of my book, Charlotte Lucas and Colonel Fitzwilliam, she's described as plain.
He's described as looking like Will Poulter.
He's described as not handsome. Now, obviously, Will Poulter and Erin Doherty are handsome and pretty in their own way, but I think in a not completely iPhone generation conventional way. So, and that is hard to find, successful actors who don't look like, they've had work done and look like they could be placed in history convincingly. So that's why those two would be such a good match. And
so
he'd look great in military uniform, man.
So you're proactively. He's got. I mean, he's got such a fantastic face. Because do you not think with actors, if they're hang on, there's quite a clunky way of saying it. If their looks are sometimes too bland, they can sort of like fall between the cracks. Whereas Will Poulter's got such a. I mean, he's such a. Obviously, he's a very good-looking guy, but it's.
But it's an interesting.
It's an interesting look, isn't it? He doesn't
like Benedict Cumberbatch. Like,
brilliant example. Brilliant, yeah.
A strange face, but somehow very, very attractive. There's this SNL sketch. Have you seen? He was on SNL, and there's a sketch of them all going, all the men, straight men going, he's not attractive, is he? Right? And like all the women being like, yes, he is.
So that's great then. So you're proactively reaching out and trying to make the magic happen.
I don't think it will get made, but I'm trying.
Right, now Rachel, you're making forays back into stand-up, as we were just talking about off mic. You are such a natural. Please tell me that you enjoy. Where I'm going with this is, we know some stand-ups who don't enjoy stand-up, but they do it because they sort of have to. And then there are those who obviously absolutely adore it. We were just talking about Joel Dommett. Joel proactively reached out to see if he could jump on that particular night we were talking about off. This is a guy that I'm like Joel, I absolutely love it. Where are you on that particular spectrum?
To be honest, I'm probably halfway between the two.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I fell into stand-up. Stand-up provided a brilliant way of performing, because it's something you can work on yourself. You can get better at it. You can learn it as a craft, and you can do your own gigs while you're doing other jobs to pay the rent, which is really helpful. You're not reliant on whether you get an audition. And also it's an extra skill to have. So I like being funny. And for me, I got into stand-up because of songs. And that's where I feel comfortable. If I could make a living just doing comedy songs.
Really?
No, that's not true. I would miss stand-up. I do love doing stand-up. I do love it.
Mate, I mean, can I say as the crow flies, or can I not say that out loud?
Yeah, you can say it, that's fine.
Right, I mean, that bit, for example, that is... Not only is that vintage Parris, and I've said this to you already, I've been seeing it a couple of times, that is a bit that, when you're doing that on tour, there'll be husbands and wives and partners and so on. That resonates so much with... I got home that night, told Emily, because we are living that routine. So, I think you're such a brilliant stand-up, and I hope you know how brilliant you are.
You. No, I never feel like it. That's the thing. It always feels like something I've had to really graft at, and that I lose very fast. If I don't gig regularly, I feel like that skill that I've been doing for 15 years or more goes like that. Unlike other things I do, which I feel like comfortable just coming back to, like the sort of the musical side of comedy. But I do really enjoy it. I just don't feel like a natural. And that's why I wouldn't like it if stand-up was the only thing I did. I think that's what it is. I like the variety. I like stand-up being part of the soup of my career.
Oh, what a good
and a big
line
part
that
of
is.
the soup, the main ingredient, the stock, I guess, arguably, of the soup, if you like. I suppose it depends what soup you're making, to be fair. I'm not like in love with it, and it's not what I love to watch either. I like variety, so I like comics that do a bit of stand-up and a song, or a bit of stand-up and a sketch, or something a little bit different. I love variety generally. So I feel like that in my performing as well. I like there to be something to just change it up a little bit sometimes.
Those TV shows, I know I'm older than both of you, but in the 80s and into the 90s, that was a common TV staple where somebody would perform comedy, they'd do sketches, either they'd sing a song or they'd get a band on to do a song. Yeah. That would be an hour on BBC One or ITV. I miss those sorts of shows.
I feel like I was born in the wrong era in that way for comedy. Like it used to be, even not just growing up like in the 80s, but like obviously like going back to the 50s, 60s, 70s. Like if you were a performer, you were expected to be a dancer, a singer, do a bit of comedy, play a bit of an instrument, do a sketch. And it was just expected that you're an all-rounder. Whereas I feel like people are less comfortable with all-rounders now. And TV is less comfortable with that. It used to be like, yeah, if you're a Victoria Wood, you know, you do a bit of everything. They give you your show and they're like, do what you want. Yeah, do a sketch, do some stand-up. Whereas now I feel like they just want you to do the thing that you're known for. Also, not much TV is being made in that way anyway.
There's not much TV getting made. Apparently it was a thing that probably held Roy Castle back a bit because TV never knew what to do with him, because he could do literally everything.
Everything.
He could dance, he could sing, he was funny, and so he did Record Breakers. Obviously, that was a huge hit. But really, Castle should have had his own variety show.
Yeah. I was thinking about this the other day. I mean, he used to play trumpet on like Record Breakers.
Absolutely. While he was tap dancing.
Yeah. But I was thinking as well, because I saw, and I get where they're coming from, I saw a sort of article really damning Rob Brydon for writing a children's book and saying that there is a trend
I saw that,
at the
yeah.
moment. Did you see that? There was a trend at the moment for people who are very famous making a bit of a pivot into writing children's books. And I can understand the frustration with that. I can. If you're someone who's just plugged away, that's your dream, writing it. It's very hard to get into the industry without a leg up. But I think what people forget is that Rob Brydon is famous because of being a creative writer. Like he's a very good performer, but like a lot of comedians, I think people think you're a celeb, so that's a way in. But you forget why are they a celeb? Because they're talented in that area already. Like comedians are writers; they write them. So Rob Brydon spent his career like writing funny stuff. He's a writer, so it's not like a total mad pivot for him to go into children's writing.
No, I was thinking about him when we were talking about all-rounders. He's one of the only examples really I can think of like that. But a lot of his
Charlie Baker.
Charlie Baker, yeah, Charlie Baker.
I mean, sorry, go on.
Oh no, but just like a lot of Rob Brydon's early stuff is sort of like quite dark, early noughties BBC comedy. So he absolutely does he has a lot of experience as a writer. So I understand frustrations, but I thought there's worse examples than him at that sort of thing.
I mean, we had two young girls. We did Romesh's Lil Muffin Drops the Mic children's book. We did that on the audiobook in the car. It's brilliant. Also, I'm not trying to sound like a dick here, there is quite a big gap in the old celebrity children's book market right now.
Of course.
Sorry.
Yes.
Are you suggesting?
Well, Walliams off the table.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I thought you meant there was a gulf in quality of book as well.
Oh, no. My kids have got... The children's books are fantastic.
Ostentatious in December did a really interesting thing, I thought, where you had, I think, for the first time, guests join in. So, for example, you had Patton Joseph be Alan Johnson in Peep Show, if you don't know who that is.
Jesus.
And then Gedroich, and was it Stephen Mangan?
Yeah.
Good.
God, you're not
That's
pissing
a
about
good
there.
trio. It's a good trio.
Good trio, right?
Yeah.
We thought for the anniversary, Jane Austen's anniversary, we wanted to do something a bit special.
Yeah.
And we thought, let's have special guests, see who we can get. And those were people that we just pulled out of who we knew and had worked with recently. So Stephen Mangan had just started doing a bit of improv at the Comedy Store with Paul Merton. So Charlotte had gigged with him. Charlotte from Ostentatious had gigged with him. And I'd done a little children's book podcast with him. This, as ever, it's about who you know. So you can go, do you fancy doing this?
He's nice, isn't he?
He was really nice and really good. They were all much better, to be honest, than we thought. Like, we knew they're great performers, but you don't know if they're a great performer in the context of a long narrative of Jane Austen. And they all were in really different ways as well. Mel Gedroich was just so funny from the off and unhinged and so playful and so comfortable. Like, just so comfortable in that role, and was like really playing with the fourth wall with the audience. She played like a woman who like wanted to like wear a military jacket, but as the scenes went on, she kept coming on with more jackets on and more hats on her head.
That's so great.
She was so funny. Stephen Mangan was very funny, and Patton Joseph was great, and he like two different characters, and he like really acted it really like properly.
He's
acting.
so brilliant. He's so good.
He was phenomenal. So we're probably going to do it again now. See who else we can get.
Such a great idea.
Is there a wish list?
Emma Thompson.
Yeah.
She's our wish list.
Have you met Emma Thompson?
She knows it. We've tried.
Have you met Emma Thompson?
Yeah, she came to see Ostentatious years ago, about 10 years ago.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, she came to see it and she loved it, and we had a drink with her afterwards.
No way.
Okay, this is a doable wish list in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll get that. We'll just keep asking. We'll just keep asking. Like
when you watch Thompson in certain stuff, does your little voice in your head go, "She's the best ever"?
Yeah, in everything, in her interviews as herself about politics and everything, and also on screen. I just think she's so. I feel like she wears her intelligence so beautifully. She just seems smart in everything she does, but not in a like annoying way, just in a like she's an intelligent actor, you know.
Yeah.
That smile would cheer up anyone.
Yeah. And her cry in Sense and Sensibility, like when she gets proposed to finally by Hugh Grant, she does that iconic really ugly cry, which is just such a good choice for a character that's been absolutely buttoned up for the entire film, doing the right thing, being stoical and being sensible, and she just breaks. She's a beautiful actress.
What's both of you favourite E.T. performance?
God.
Mine might be In the Name of the Father, because if memory serves, that helped her break for it, because she was part of that Kenneth Branagh, obviously, but very much part of that lovey set. And I felt In the Name of the Father was like her way of saying, I'm actually a fucking astonishingly talented actor.
Yeah. I think...
You're going Sense.
I'm going Sense.
Yeah.
I'm going Sense. Are you going Love Actually, Tim?
I'm possibly going worse. I haven't really seen many Emma Thompson films. She doesn't really turn up in many of the things I watch. I hate to say it.
Tim's Johnny Arthouse.
I'm possibly Johnny Arthouse, and I'm very sorry, Emma. I think she's brilliant. I really like her on Graham Norton. So can I say Graham Norton?
Well, that's
my favourite.
Like her appearance is so good.
Yeah. My answer is her on Graham Norton.
Yeah, good answer.
Yeah.
The girls did the Nanny McPhee films, and she's obviously fantastic.
Oh, she's so good in them. And she's amazing in Love Actually. She's the heart of Love Actually.
I mean, I really, to say I don't like that film is the great understatement, but she is phenomenal in a film where I want to punch myself in the face. It's just so smug. Anyway, I'm sorry. My gran taught me you never use the word hate. You know, it's like bad for you. You should never use it. But I think she'd give me a pass on that.
Billy's learning the word. My son, who's 4 now, is learning hate. He says hate is a strong word, and he's learning that.
I think it's like it's fundamentally bad for you to use that word.
But
I think I've taken that on from you saying that.
Yeah. I said the other day, I was like, just with Billy, and I said something like, "Oh, what's this, Billy? Oh, it's a picture of this. Oh, that's a bit random." And he went, "Mummy, random is a very strong word." He says a lot of things that aren't strong words are strong words.
Oh. I've got her IMDb, and I've totally forgot. Oh, if it's not number 1, it's top 3. Saving Mr. Banks, her and Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah.
She's. Anyway, Emma Thompson on your wish list, fantastic. So now, Rach, with the new questions, Tim now asks the questions.
I know, ask the questions. That's a big format change. So I'm still not perfect with the wording of this question, but who are your favourite acts to see in a green room?
Right. I've given this a lot of thought.
Because
it's a hard one, isn't it? Because the answer is collectively nearly all of the comedy industry.
Yeah.
Because it feels like you have to have a moment of talking about how nice it is to know everyone. Like when you walk in, just to know the 3 people on that bill. Because you do. People, when they hear a comedian, they go, "Oh, do you know such and such and such and such?" And you go, "Yeah, I do." Like we all know each other, and that's so nice. So the familiarity of seeing a face that you've seen every few months for 10 years is like so nice. So I could just list 100 people, but I won't. This is the whole point. You have to choose. I'm not going to say Rob Rouse because I know that you might have Marcus on this, and I'm going to let Marcus have Rob, but
That's
I would
nice.
say Rob Rouse.
Are they like that?
They are. I inherited Rob from Marcus when we got together. And you know, in marriage, some of your spouse's friendships take and become your friend, and some don't. Rob is a hard example of Rob is now my friend, and all his family. So we've gone on big summer holidays with his family together. He's the godfather to Billy. He's absolutely part of our family. So Robbie Rouse, me and Marcus adore him so much.
Isn't he an unbelievable comedian?
And his whole family.
Wasn't it lovely when he won the Comedian Award this year?
So nice.
Just a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah. He's so funny and also the best human being. And the gigs he runs up north are fantastic.
So that's not your answer.
That's not my answer, because I know Marcus will want to have
Lovely.
So I'm going to say, if I have to choose one person, Jess Foster Q.
Great. Really great.
Jess has been with me since the beginning, and she's always been such a legend in terms of support and loveliness. So we did Funny Women together in 2010, got to the final, and that's quite a process, Funny Women. It's quite a bonding thing.
Yes.
And a lot of the girls who were in that final stayed really good friends. Gemma Whelan was in the final.
Gemma Whelan,
Helen Arney, Alison Thea Scott, who's now like in improv. Helen Arney's still doing like musical comedy. So anyway, there was a lovely gang of girls. Jess Foster Q was one of them, and I loved her then. And then when I did my... And then I emailed her afterwards, because she'd been going a little bit longer than me. I emailed her saying, how do I get started, in stand-up? What are the gigs that I can do? And she sent me just this brilliantly helpful list of like promoters who were really nice, and, gigs that had good crowds, and places where you could get like paid 20 quid as opposed to, doing it for a loss. Like, just so nice. And then my first solo show at the Edinburgh Fringe in 2013, which was on the Free Fringe. It was called The Commission, and the first afternoon of doing it, the first show at the Fringe, she came and she sat on the front row, and she laughed her brilliant loud laugh.
Great laugh, a really great
friend.
Yeah,
she's just one of those good people, And so if she's in a green room, I'm like, okay, amazing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We don't see each other that often, but there's just that shared history, and that she's just so funny and so brilliant as a person.
What a great choice, Tim.
I'm delighted with that choice.
That is a good question. That's staying.
I love that this is like you're running out. You're running this out as a trial to see these questions.
What happened was we had our first guest, Jacob Hawley. It was our first one with the new questions, and it was important, as with yourself, you pick someone that you're friendly enough with, where you can say things out loud, such as, in that episode we're going, oh, these questions are quite good, but in the way that if we didn't know you and Jacob that well, we obviously wouldn't say, because the person might be like, well, you should know if the questions work or not,
Yeah.
Because what happened with the first iteration is that the format was like bulletproof from the jump, and then you just sort of like hoping, please let these questions work. So I was just thinking out loud. I apologise profusely, actually.
They're really good questions. It was really nice to think of. And again, very hard to choose. There's so many people. Some of the people it's nice to see are the people doing comparing and gigging just around the country at regional gigs, that you can there's just a vibe of like, we know what we're doing. People like Steve Bougea, who just like good mensch, good at their job, and you can just have a nice, just like relaxed chat with. Matt Richardson, who like Tanya Moore. I don't know if it's coincidence. It's often the compares. I realise they're also like fantastic set comedians, but I do feel like if you're good at comparing, that is hand in hand with being good in a green room often.
I'd agree with that. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Shall we?
So
Shall we?
yeah.
Shall we have another question?
Let's have
Yeah, I
another
can't wait.
question.
So, who is the best new act you've seen recently?
Right. So I did a set at the Funny Women Awards. Having mentioned the Funny Women Awards, I went back to do a set at their finals last year in 2025. And there were loads of brilliant acts in that. There's a comedian called Samantha Day, who is like in her 50s and lives in Bristol. I think she was my favourite. But the winner of that is a character act, and the character is called just Zoe. But her real name is... Oh, God, hang on. I wrote it down because I know how to forget it. Nicola Mantalios. But the character's called Zoe, and she just comes on stage. She just looks funny straight away, and she's just carrying a bag.
Yeah.
And she goes, I mean, I'm just giving away her set and doing it very badly. Just goes, there's a big silence for ages, and then she goes, I know what you're thinking. Yes, I've got a bag. And that is kind of what she does on the set. Like, she just carries the room, and you should have heard the audience at the Bloomsbury Theatre like
Losing it.
losing it.
That's great.
She just goes on, she just got a manner. Just talking to the audience, she goes, "What's your name?" And a guy went, "Roberto," and she went, "Eh?" And he goes, "Roberto," and she goes, "If you say so." Needlessly skeptical. So she's going to be very funny. Yeah,
That's a good answer. It's brilliant that a character like that can win an award like Funny Women. That's really brilliant.
Yeah. She stood up. To be honest, they would have had to. She got so much laughter from the room. Like, you know, when it's fairly, like, they were all really good, but she got a huge reaction in the room.
This is off the beaten track, I apologise, but what do we think for the future of new acts? Do you think some will be put off by the fact that there is so little telly and the like getting made? You know, because I think there'd be waves coming through thinking, I'm going to be on Mock the Week or what have you. You know, I don't know what the answer is.
Well,
I don't think so.
Because I don't think so. Because
I'm holding up my phone here because of the opportunity to...
Well, it just seems to be more new acts than ever, really. And yeah, very soon, the young kids getting into comedy are going to be people who consume it entirely from just Instagram.
And they're watching the likes of... to pluck a name from random, they're watching, say, Vittorio Angeloni.
Yeah, they're watching
clips.
Yeah,
they're not watching insert name of whoever on a panel show from 1997.
Yeah, their favourite sketches are from Dirk and Ski. It's not... sorry, exactly. Hugh and Laurie. I know there has been sketch between Hugh and Laurie and Dirk and Ski, but still.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think the younger generations are... they are aspiring to having a big following, but it's interesting that they've all got to do the transition to live still. Really, I mean, they haven't got to, but if you are in comedy, that kind of feels like a part of where you end up. The only difference is that you don't rely on it. But like, I look at people like Ali Woods and Jack Skipper, who built up an online following, but then they had to learn how to be a comedian in real life. And they've put the work in, haven't they? You know,
absolutely.
And they're great.
I saw Ali's gigs as an open spot in Kingston for years, like probably a decade ago at this stage, and like he was really good then. So it definitely, the sketches came next, and it's worked so well for him.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite comedian who no longer does it?
Right. It's not one comedian, it's all the sketch acts that I started out with. And now inevitably sketch acts fall apart because you go and do your own thing. It's always been the way.
I find it so sad.
So sad, and I miss them. I miss seeing them on. So one that stood out to me was McNeil and Pamphilon.
Oh,
yeah, lovely.
So I still see those boys. I work with Sam Pamphilon fairly recently, very much in touch. I see Steve McNeil. He still obviously is doing like big comedy shows and tech shows. But as a duo, they were there with me, like right at the very beginning, like at the Edinburgh Fringe on the alternative comedy circuit in London. There was really regular gigging, like in my 20s, and they would always be there. And we'd just be drinking together, and they were such good friends of mine. And I miss them they were so funny together.
They were great.
They was just so good. I couldn't believe it when they split up. I was like, but what? And they were like, we haven't made more than £5 in 6 years.
Yeah.
They had a sketch where one of them had I'm sure you've seen it, like a tracksuit top.
Yeah.
And because Sam's a handsome guy, I can say that, can't I?
Yeah.
So he puts the tracksuit top on, and they're both like, wow, you look great. Oh, thanks very much. Wow, thank you. And then Steve puts the same top on.
Paedophile.
You look like a paedophile.
They were just so good. I actually made a list of there was McNeil and Pamphilon, the beta males.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, God.
Those lads, still really good friends with Richard Soames, and who else? Daphne. So Phil Wang and Jason Forbes.
Yeah.
And George,
So brilliant.
Good. And then more recently stopped, but still like Massive Dad and Lazy Susan.
Yeah. So great.
I said stand-up isn't my favourite, really sketch. I love watching sketch. And when I would go to the Fringe every year, it's sketch that I would go and watch. And it was sketch comics that became my crew. They were my gang more than stand-ups were. So they were the people that I miss their comedy, and I miss them being there as a group. And they're the ones who split up. They're the ones who stop, because I know obviously comedians do stop eventually, but sketch groups who are really good and it's working stop, because it's not a thing you can sustain through your life to try and all get together when you've got families and you're living in different places.
I have to be very vague here, but there was a certain sketch group who had a lot of success. Oh, this is too vague, isn't it? But basically, they did as well as a sketch group can do.
I want you to do it because I'm enjoying the guessing game.
And I definitely can't say who it is. I'll WhatsApp you both, but just because, people are, oh God, no, taken out of context. Anyway, I think they achieved everything that a sketch act could achieve. And then even they got to a point where they were like, it's not sustainable anymore.
Yeah.
And that is that's such a heartbreaker, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
They basically climbed Everest, in my opinion. They did, and then it's probably as far as it's going to go. This,
I feel like in the olden days with Monty Python, or all the many comedy duos that used to be on TV, there was a place for sketch in 2s or 3s or 4s or 5s. But ever since the 21st century, there isn't money being put into that. There was a few comedy duo, Channel 4 and the BBC would give you a little bit of a chance. So Lazy Susan got to make a thing.
Yeah, and that was brilliant.
Natasha got to make a thing, but they take it away so fast. If it's not the number one watch thing, they're like, that was it. You had your chance and no more.
I really feel like we're building an audience with this show. You didn't get 22 million, so I'm afraid,
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be
I remember when Watson and Oliver?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just thought, and Anna and Katie. Do you remember Anna and...
So funny.
Yeah.
Really?
So funny. Both of those, all these brilliant female sketch duos, and given one series and that's it. And then it's cut off, and they were so good.
And then they're all sort of relying on one of them getting a part as whatever in a drama or a sitcom, rather than the actual sketch being the sketch team being the thing that brings the success. They're sort of hoping on, maybe I'll get cast in a show on Sky, whatever, rather than it's a shame. It is a shame. I mean, we're talking about comedy on telly. I mean, sketch on telly is almost, it's the odd show, but
SNL UK obviously is coming very soon, and that will be a return of sketch to telly, and we will see if anything comes of it.
Have they announced who?
It's been announced to us off the record.
Yeah, one of the people, one of the
I know
people. Yeah,
2 of them.
Okay.
But I don't know. It's not just I don't know who they are. I don't know who the rest are.
We'll tell you in a bit.
Yeah.
But crucially,
Text me during the pod.
Not on pod. Yeah.
Right. Next question.
Yeah.
Yes. Good point. What's a bit that you've retired, but you secretly miss doing it?
Oh, now this. I got my old notebook out. Let me go and get it. Hang on.
Yes, please.
Outstanding.
Yes, please.
So in my so this is the notebook that I had leading up to my first ever solo show in 2013.
Brilliant.
And I've still got them. I've still got every notebook on the shelf, basically. So my first solo show was a real mix, as they often are, of like all the bits you've done ever, really. So it was some songs, it was some poems, it was stand-up, and it was lists, weirdly. And I was sort of playing a bit of a character in the way that a lot of people do when they first start out. I was playing like a version of myself that was more fucked up than I was. So like I talked about like, I implied that I was like a drug addict. I implied that I was like drinking more heavily and more heartbroken and generally a sadder figure than I actually was. People liked it.
That's it.
I think I remember this bit.
You won't know it because you won't have seen it before, because I think I only did it.
I don't think I know this bit.
So I want to read you two of the lists that I wrote to read out. They were called "What Can We Say About Exercise" and "What Can We Say About Sex?" So what can we say about exercise? Number 1, it can be beneficial to your health. Number 2, you can go to the gym if you're an extrovert. Number 2, no one enjoys exercise. If anyone claims to, they're probably confusing exercise with a child's game, such as a trampoline or a javelin. 3, when you sweat, it's your body crying. Next one, if you do really well at exercise, they throw the Olympics for you and give you a medal. Number 6, if you push sweat back into the body, you're not hydrated anymore. No, let me try that again. If you push sweat back into the body, you're not dehydrated anymore. It's weird. It was a weird show.
Just your debut.
Jason Manford liked it. Some people use weights to gain several abs. For example, Wolf from Gladiators. Number 9, the names of the original 6 gladiators were Wolf, Lightning, Jet, Cryptic, Shitstorm, and Andrew. It was that kind of thing. And then what can we say about sex? Number 1, it's gross. Number 2, it's incredibly easy. You just lie there and it happens. You don't even have to use your arms. Number 3, most people have sex in a bed, but you can also have sex in a garden. Number 4, like many things, it's harder to do underwater. See Showgirls. 6, your mum and dad had sex, but mine didn't. It was really weird. Number 7, you can have sex even if you're tired, but it may make you more tired. So it was just kind of, it was tonally this kind of like in character, strange sort of comedy lists and poems and things. And it was funny.
You were more of a character back then, weren't you?
Yeah. It was very much. I even like I had a song that I'm going to do actually on my next tour because I like it so much, and I've never been able to do it apart from in that show, because it was in that character, and the character had a backstory and everything. So she lived with a flatmate, which I did, but the flatmate had like got engaged to a sort of finance bro called Michael, and I was heartbroken. I was basically in love with her, and she asked me to write a song. Caroline, her name was, this fictional flatmate, and she asked me to write a comedy song for her wedding to Awful Michael, and I said I would, and then I performed this really sad love song instead. But it was a comedy song, but it's called I Used to Write Sad Songs Before I Met You. And it's just a beautiful song to how much I loved her. So yeah, it was sort of an interesting debut hour, quite experimental, but there are bits of it that, you know, I love that song, which is a question you're going to ask me actually in the next 5 minutes.
Absolutely. Well, next question is there a Piers joke that you wish you had written?
Yeah, loads, obviously, but I'm terrible at remembering other people's material. I'm terrible at repeating it, but I'll try. One that I saw recently was I was gigging with Janine Harouni, and she did a bit that I thought was so funny where she says she's talking about sex, sex in long-term relationships, and she said her and her husband were going to have sex, and she said, "Oh, but just to let you know, like, I'm on my period," and her husband goes, I don't care about that. Like, I don't care. You could have blood coming out of your ears and I'd still want to have sex with you. And she says, well, you're no longer my emergency contact.
It's really, yeah. So
really
she's
good.
so brilliant.
She's so good. It's proper bits, you know, like beautifully constructed bits.
Yeah. She's done
She
a couple of
describes the
times
ambulance
recently.
coming and her bloodied and like semi-conscious, delirious, and then being like, right, we'd have to put her in the recovery position. Him being like, well, I say, let's go. She's so good. And the other bit that came to, there's two other bits. This isn't really a peer because I don't know him, but have you seen online the "Fool Me Once, Shame on You"?
Yeah.
"Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, shame back on you. Fool me 4 times, shame on me, actually. And he goes right up to 10. And it's beautiful.
It's
beautiful
James
bit.
McCann, if anyone
James
wants to see it.
McCann.
Yeah,
Thank
really
you.
brilliant.
Oh, there is, it's like, fool me 5 times, shame back to you. There is you are picking on a vulnerable person.
Yeah.
There is clearly something going on with me. It's so good. And then finally, Jess Fosterque is not a bit I could ever do because it's about her experience, but she talks about people like thinking that lesbians don't have a sexual relationship, and she does an impression of what some people she's met, like what they must think her and her partner do, which is just standing quietly holding hands and going, oh no. Oh no. And now, whenever I hear the words oh no, I now think of Jess Fosterque and not having sex with that one. Going, what shall I put in? What shall we do? Shall we just hold hands? Yeah. Oh no. It's so good. It's so
It's
good.
great. So great. Right then, next one. What is the weirdest way you've made money to supplement comedy?
In terms of the jobs you do for money as a performer, I got hired by a company called Bearded Kitten, who used to do spectacular events. Sometimes they were like rave events, but always with an amazing twist. So like I went to one of their nights, which was called All Around the World, and it was at a warehouse in East London, and it was basically a club night, but they took over this aircraft hangar and they hired an actual cut off front of probably not a Boeing, but like a massive passenger plane. And that was in the room. And they had like big display boards up, but instead of destinations, it was the DJs who were on in each room. My friend, and then they needed actors for these events. So I did some stuff with them. My friend was like the captain standing on top of the plane, on top of an actual aeroplane, hosting the night. So Bearded Kitten used to do all these, they did all the festivals. They created these like incredible experiences, all the more special if you were on MDMA. But there was made but they also then obviously would supply for various jobs. So one of the ones they got me to do was at the Cadbury's factory in Bourneville, and they got me and 2 other guys to dress up in Cadbury purple in little train driver outfits. So I had the braces and little sort of shorts and a little purple cap, and it was to promote a new bar which never took off, which was called Crispello. It was somewhere between, it was a bit like a Time Out almost, but we had to make up songs, improvise songs, and I had a keyboard as well.
God.
We had to improvise songs about Crispello for 6 hours, and we had to do that both at the Cadbury factory as people walking around and in the middle of a shopping centre nearby.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
To improvise songs about a chocolate bar which barely existed.
Yeah, it barely existed. And also the rhyming capability of the words to describe. We were given like, so here are the marketing points to hit. So it's crispy, milky, Crispello, obviously to rhyme with like mellow, Yellow didn't really come into it because there's nothing yellow about the chocolate bar. Hello.
Hello.
A fellow
Yeah,
must
there
have
was
got an airing.
limited stuff to talk about.
This is now also what I will say. I'm delighted. What I'm delighted by is it's all worked out great for you. So what I mean by that is there'll be people seeing you in the outfit singing, and you'll have been amazing, and then you've gone on to become superstar comedian Rachel Parris. I did the Paddington experience with my youngest, and the actors on the Paddington experience, I was chatting with another comedian about this because they were so brilliant. All I could think about was, I really hope they all go on to other things.
Yeah.
And so
I did that with Billy, and I thought the same. I was like, you're all so good, and you're putting so much into it. For the
same
children.
thing with the Paddington thing.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
So I think what you're saying is, this is very positive, I know, but
Yeah.
I think that's so inspiring because you've done that, the purple outfit, the playing the songs.
Yeah.
But it's proof that, these can prove stepping stones to things, can't they?
Totally, absolutely. Yeah, they really can. I think it's just what you got to do to keep, and it's a learning experience. Like it was, some people are better at like public facing stuff than I'm. So I'm really comfortable on a stage when I've got the light on me and it's my turn. Like it's definitely my turn to perform. I'm not good at taking that space when it's not been given to me, and that's what quite a lot of the low paid stuff you do while you're trying to make it, while you're or just living your life as a performer, is trying to steal people's attention when they don't want to give it. And I've always struggled with that. Some people are a natural at it, some people they're just naturally like they enjoy it. For me, that was always a real challenge. The improvising songs, fine. Trying to get people's attention, found it really hard. But it's just, again, a good practice for me.
Great. And what the extra layers of armour that you get from that.
Yeah.
So how would they mocked it up? You're actually in the Bourneville factory.
Yeah, we did a bit in the Cadbury factory and the Bourneville factory. I think they're combined. We were only in one factory, but it's got like a Bourneville bit and a Cadbury bit.
Who are you performing to then?
The people who were it's the factory and a museum. So the people who were at the museum walking around.
So people who are on the tour and then they walk into a room and you're sat there singing about Crispello.
Exactly.
Now there, my good fellow, have a taste of this Crispello. Like that.
That I see you were there.
It's a great. You know what? I loved all the songs.
Yeah, it's stuck in your head.
It was a great day. I'll never forget. No, that's not a cello. It's a bar of Crispello.
I am sure that you will miss me. Don't forget that bar is crispy.
Superb. That's Tim. That question is
honestly, it couldn't be more different to Jacob's answer, and it's 2 10 out of 10 answers.
What's the name of the company then that put on those events? Sorry,
Bearded Kitten. I don't know if they're still going. They probably are.
It's so eye-opening that these things. It's almost a subculture, isn't it? These big events with
people
I did
playing
the parts.
They were friends of mine, Robin and Partridge, who like a lot of their career was with them. Just sort of really unusual festival hosting, like events like all over that were and obviously like really good for corporate stuff as well. So I also did a gig that was like, it was for Nickelodeon, but it wasn't corporate money. It was like 300 quid for like a day and like a whole day kind of work. And we had to, what were we dressed up as? We were dressed as Greek gods and goddesses, so like togas and kind of and basically we were just like living statues, so we just walked around kind of like serving drinks and but doing a bit of acting as well.
Sure.
It was a bit of fun. It's just a bit of fun, really.
It looks like they're still going.
They're really I can't recommend their events enough. They're so imaginative and fun.
Great. Is it the final question, Tim? I think.
Final question. It's a biggie. What is the best advice? It could be from another comedian or something you've learned along the way.
I think that I would say it's that there is room for you to do it your way. I think I'm quite impressionable. And as soon as I see anyone, any performer, I'm like, oh, that's how I should have been doing it. I should be like that. And I still now, I watch people, I'm like, that's what I should be doing. But I shouldn't, because that's not me. And I sort of can't, actually. And I remember, and I know I've said this on the podcast, I've said this, I'm sure, on the first podcast, but I remember seeing Tim Minchin in 2005 or 6. If you can hear the toilet flushing, that's my husband, Marcus, flushing the toilet. Hi, Marcus. I'm just on the Always Be Comedy podcast, so please be discreet.
I think you've done him a favour by saying that, because there have been a couple of names appear on the WhatsApp and he's on it and he must be thinking, why are they WhatsApping these random names?
Do you want to come and wave? Well, he's just... Oh, I see. He's preparing something.
He's preparing something.
It's a real lovely lockdown throwback, this.
It's a lovely lockdown throwback. Aha!
Now it's down there.
Here he
This is
is.
what I'm talking about. You watch this and you think, that's what I should be doing.
Yes. Walrus straws.
Listen, guys, it's just basic straw tomfoolery. It's a little physical bit I'm working on.
It's
prop
great
comedy,
stuff.
And we should all be doing prop comedy.
Yeah.
People love it.
When I see you doing your musical comedy,
Yeah.
I think, oh, I'm glad I can't do that. That looks
Not
fun.
an option.
Anyway, look, I love you guys. This is
Great
about
to see you.
Rachel. It's not about me. It's not about me.
Ultimately,
It's not about me.
at the end of the day, it's not about
Yeah,
you.
it's not about me.
Go away.
It's about Rachel
Get gone.
Brigstock.
Bye.
When this comes out,
Brigstock!
when this comes out,
Outrageous.
Marcus Brigstock featuring Rachel Parris.
Featuring Rachel Brigstock.
Sorry,
Um,
yeah.
Let me go back to where I was.
Advice.
Tim Minchin. Look,
Tim
I know
Minchin.
I always bang on about Tim Minchin, but seeing Tim Minchin in 2005 to 6 at the Edinburgh Fringe was such a watershed for me. I'd only, as I said, I only did Funny Woman in 2010. So this was years before I was
Yeah.
doing anything as a comedian, but I
Yeah.
had the idea in my head. And actually, it was 2006. It was called Ready to Go, I think. He did what I was trying to do, which was songs at the piano, well performed, funny, but then he did sad songs as well, and he did moving songs, and he did poems, and he did raps, and he did love songs, and I loved his show so much, and more to the point, everyone else did. And I was watching this audience who were watching him, wanting that variety of tone, wanting sad songs and funny songs, and they didn't mind, even though it was billed as comedy. So for me, that was the realization. The advice to myself was people don't mind if it's not 100% funny all the time, and that you can show them something else as part of an hour, and you can do that. But so my advice, not always about the exact thing. The advice is that you don't have to do what other people do. There's room for all sorts of different kinds of comedy.
I think that's really good advice. And also, if you get into being inspired, I'm doing finger quotes, being inspired by someone, if you're not careful, you're in danger of copying the. You do see that quite a bit, where a comedian's been inspired by someone else, and it's almost like it can get a bit tribute acting.
Do you remember there was an era about?
Can I guess what you're going to say? How many people doing essentially David Brent?
Yes.
It was unbelievable. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Everyone, I did.
Awkward.
For a few years, everyone went da 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 da. Da, 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 da. Like the tone, the phrase, and the
100%.
phase, and then the pause, the awkward pause. Like everyone did that. Weird.
It was a real thing, wasn't it?
Really strange.
Oh, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Really strange. So yeah, I suppose my advice is go your own way.
It's true though. That's great. That's great advice.
Put it on one of those wooden plaques that you hang in the kitchen, along
Go
with
your own way, Rachel
wine
Parris.
o'clock.
Rachel, that was amazing. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. A pleasure to be rebooked.
I thought it was the best of the 3 Parris appearances. That was number 1.
I enjoyed it more. Do you know why? Because I did my homework. Look,
very
I was
much
a
did your
nerd at
homework.
school.
We're very grateful.
I would say you enjoy things more if you're prepared.
It's more great advice.
From the improviser, Rachel Parris.
From the improviser. People are always saying that to me. They're always like, "You're an improviser. You must be good at." And I'm like, no. Not really. Not really. I'm comfortable improvising in an improv setting, but in real life, no, thank you.
Rachel, thank you very much. That was brilliant.
Thank you.
Huge and heartfelt thanks to the great Rachel Parris. Great episode. Rachel, anyway. Rachel said herself that of the 3 episodes we've done with her, that was the best.
I think I'd agree.
I think we all said that. It was great. I mean, the other 2 were great, but that was really great. Timo, what's your favourite thing? We've got a new outro question with Rebooked. What's your favourite thing you learned about Rachel Parris today?
I think for the 2nd week in a row, it spawns from the ways you make money to supplement comedy, and it was her promoting the short-lived Cadbury's Crispello chocolate bar in the Midlands. I think it has to be that, doing improvised songs dressed as a train. I mean, how can you not love it?
Was she dressed as a train?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh my God. I thought she meant like train driver or train conductor. Oh my gosh.
You know, what I pictured was sort of, it is a train driver, sort of, hat and all that stuff, but then sort of in the body of the train. That's what I pictured.
Here we go. Crispello. See, the thing is, I'm not even sure that... Guys, if you want to play along at home, if you Google Crispello, I don't even think that rings a bell when I look at it.
No, I'm looking at it now, and I don't think I ever saw that on a chopped till.
I would have enjoyed that.
I'd be up for it, honestly.
I love a timeout. It is slightly timeout adjacent, isn't it?
It's a bit timeouty. Now, there are, as far as I can tell, it was cited in 2025, so only last year, in certain branches of farm foods and B&M. So there is a chance for you to possibly enjoy the Crispello. I didn't think this episode was going to include a plug for a Cadbury's Crispello, but it does seem to be around somewhere.
I'd just like to out myself as a liar when I said I love a timeout, and then as soon as I said it, I thought, when did you last have a timeout?
Do timeouts still exist?
This is it. I mean, this is like when Neighbours announced it was no longer a thing, and I was like, what? I love Neighbours. And then I went, you haven't watched it since 1989. What are you talking about?
Yeah. There is a very real chance I haven't had timeout since about 2003.
I was probably enjoying it while I was watching Neighbours. The Village Liar. I've only discovered this about myself. Oh, I love a timeout. Do you? Are you sure about that? Right. So I think it might be the timeout as well. Tim, if I was asked that question, I'm not saying that this would be my answer, but I wanted to do a very similar thing to Rachel, and it was a corporate event, and they had a red carpet, and I was hired as a fake showbiz correspondent on the red carpet, interviewing the people who worked for the company as if they were celebrities, as they walked down the red carpet.
That sounds all right. I think I've heard way worse. That sounds all right.
I'm not saying that would be my answer for the question, but it was more that Rachel's answer. I didn't say it in the episode because she's the guest and it was her moment, and But while she was talking, I was reminded of that. Listen, the person who gave me the work has been a real mensch down the years, and financially I was grateful of the gig.
Yeah,
I'm not saying the money was amazing, but it was like better than gig money.
Sure.
But nevertheless, while it was happening, the little voice med was like, "You're putting food on the table."
Yeah, absolutely. God, absolutely. You're supplementing your comedy.
So it was like, if you can imagine, I'm holding a pen as if it's a microphone, and I've got, look at that Captain Marvel badge. And as they walk down, I go, and I was holding them up, and I think we had a camera person to make it feel like I worked for E Entertainment or whatever.
Lovely.
How does it feel being here today? And I would say 90% of the people were on board.
Okay.
And there was the odd person that was just they didn't tell me to fuck off, but they definitely had fuck off energy.
With their eyes, they did, yeah.
Just what is going, you know what I mean? That sort of.
Yeah.
And you know what? Fair enough.
It's not for everyone, that.
It's not for everyone. It's one of those when it came in, it was like, yeah, sure, definitely, yeah. A friend of mine said that when they do corporates, they will look at a picture of their children, and then go out and do the corporate, and it was a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Do you know what? It was fine. It was fine.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Was it worth sharing any of this? Yeah, listener.
Yeah,
I hope so. It's more like a bit more. You know what? It wasn't as funny as I'd intended it, and it did come out slightly therapy-ish.
I liked it.
Thanks very much. You call that a Kennington exclusive, guys? Thank you very much as always. Hopefully, we'll see you at a show soon. Huge and heartfelt thanks. Take care, Tim. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, James. Bye.